These are the topics I will be talking about in this video. If you want to order blanks, it is on my website. You would find it here. And remember, there is a coupon if you order more than $50. Just make sure you put that promo code, which is 50 free. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoy this video and I'll be diving right in. I will be using mica. I will also be using fine glitter, and I'm going to be doing these from start to end. And chunky glitter mix. And this is a personal favorite, which is a chunky glitter, but I use it sparsely, not a lot, if that makes sense. And this one has a little charm. So you will be needing transfer tape. This is from the Dollar Tree. You just need a little chunk, and I use the same one over and over. A silicone tip. I use an acrylic stick that I made, just personal preference. You do have to wipe that off. And then I'll be showing you how to make a keychain. There's 3 types of way you can heat out the bubbles, and I'll be showing you that. My favorite one is the blowtorch. And I'll also be showing you that I am using the UV light from the Amazon kit that a lot of people were asking me to use. And I'll be really honest, I like the UV light and I really like the consistency of the UV resin. You will need a mixing cup to mix your glitter in, and you can reuse this. So I'm showing you how to connect it. Super easy. It's via USB, nothing fancy. When you are mixing your glitter in the UV resin or applying the UV resin, have it off. I'm using parchment paper to have it over. This is another UV resin, but I'll be using the one from the Amazon kit, which is this one. So when you order a blank, you'll receive a sticker and you have to figure out what side is which. I am showing you here that I am applying first the glitter on the back versus putting the sticker first. I'm using 2 methods. So I'm going to do that method first. And then this is the little medicine cup. You can order them on Amazon. I just have a lot of them, so I figured I would use them. First, very important, apply your UV resin. It's really hard to determine how much you're going to use UV resin, so work a little. You can always work and add on. I added enough, and I'll show you what you can do with the extra left over. So if you're new to this, make sure if you're going to use 2 blanks, that if you do use more, you can use that leftover. So you add, stir, make sure there's like no chunks in there. It's fine glitter, so it stirs more easily. And like I said, this needs to be off, very important. If it's on, it's going to start hardening because, you know, that's the whole purpose of the UV light. So I like applying it in the middle. I like to drizzle as much as possible. If this is your first time doing a badge reel, you honestly don't know how much UV resin you are going to use. As you go on, it's like any practice you do, you will perfect. Well, not perfect, improve it. So you'll know how much. You'll literally look at a blank and be knowing like, oh, I need this much. If you're a crafter, then you know what I'm saying. You can look at a project and know how many papers you'll need. So practice makes improvement, like I like saying. So as you can see, I am dragging all this, and I'm giving you the top view, which is POV, but I'll giving you a different view in a bit. I'm dragging all this from the middle to the edge. This is called a doming effect. So you want to make sure you get the edge. If you need more, then you add a little bit more. But you'll start seeing how it's closing off, which essentially means it's doming. So make sure every little corner you're going around and making sure that it's, you know, it doesn't spill over. You're dragging it softly. Have a light go around it. You're going to see how I'm making sure that everything's in the little corner. This is your other POV view, I guess. So just make sure you're going to the sides as much as possible. See those little bubbles? You're going to use a lighter. If you have a lighter, I like the blowtorch, but I'm showing you that you can use your lighter. You are burning it on top, not like you're not stabbing it. You're like making it over, if that makes sense. That's when you're going to get your UV light. You know how it's off right now? I'm going to connect it, and you're going to cure it for 2 minutes. If I'm totally honest with you, this one's stronger than the one I have for my nails. This one, I don't know if it's just because it's for the badge reels, but it doesn't come with a timer. So I would put a timer on my phone and put 2 minutes. And once those 2 minutes are up, you will disconnect it yourself. So turn it off, disconnect it yourself, and see how it's not sticky anymore. Now make sure that when you're doing the other side that there's no glitter or residue on your area. See how I'm cleaning that off, because then that will stick on there and it would look weird. So I'm going to be using, as I'm showing, the Amazon resin. But let's apply the sticker. This is off as I'm reminding you. I'm someone that needs to be reminded constantly. Okay, so I'm wiping off my stick. I'm using the napkins that I get from, like, you know, when you go to like a fast food restaurant. So I have a lot of these, so that's why I'm using these. Get a pokey tool and see how I'm peeling the sticker. I peel up, but I'm pressing the sticker down, that way it doesn't peel with it. You'll get the hang of it. If you do vinyl, then you're a pro at this. And then I'm gonna use this clear tape over it. I'm gonna be winging it. It's faster if you wing it. It's an art, you'll learn it. I use this little squeegee. I like using the soft part personally. And then, as you can see, and I'll zoom in how I'm gonna wing it, try to put it in the middle as much as possible. I've never used any other method. I learned this way, and it's just easier to rip off the bandit this way and just teach yourself personally, but do what is comfortable. On my Facebook group, if you want to check in the description, we have our crafty friend, Shmedia. She has a very, very cool way of how she applies her stickers. She uses, I believe, parchment paper so she can get precisely even, but you do what you feel most comfortable with. I feel most comfortable winging it. So now I need to apply the clear UV resin on top. You can add glitter if you want, but I like how it looks clear. So see how I'm doming it from the middle and I'm pulling it ever so gently to the sides. So do that all around. If I like adding a little bit of UV resin, and then if I need to bring in more, then I will dip in a little bit more, but don't overdo it. Work less, put in less, then put in more, if that makes any sense. Because the last thing you want is to have so much and it's just spilling all over and you're making a mess. So work off slowly and but surely. Okay, and you can use a silicone tip. I'm just using this acrylic stick. I've seen other people use a wooden stick. You use what is best for you. I wanted to do this because I already had it next to me, so why not? And I like how it has that pointiness to it. And I'll be honest with you, my silicone stick broke, so I had to improvise. I didn't want to invest more money, you know? And my head and my recommendation for you is don't invest what you already invested. Us crafters do get carried away, and we do end up spending. See how I'm putting the light. It just had minor bubbles on this. I really like this UV resin. Is like I was saying, this is off. Now I'm going to turn it back on. Don't forget to put it on your timer. Is don't go and start adding everything to cart. You literally just need, if you don't have a UV light, this UV kit is super inexpensive. It's on Amazon. I'll add it in the description below. This is the leftover glitter that I had in the little silicone cup. I'm gonna add it on top. Work with that, and then write in a list of what you wish you had, you know, like the mini blowtorch or the, you know, a better light or whatever. This light works perfect. There's no reason why you would get another one, only because it has a timer. But this, you know, work with what you have. I'm going to show you here that I'm going to put it on the top. Make sure you close it. It helps me to know what side. And you're just going to add a little dot over it. And I'll show you right here. This is on real time. I'm not speeding it up. As you can see, I'm going slowly but surely. We're not in a chase, you know. We're not racing anybody. We're diving into something new. So we need to work towards it until we perfect it. Then we'll move faster. But other than that, we are beginners. So, but don't be afraid. The same way you learn how to do any crafting, anything, or how to use the scissors is the same way you're going to use how to do the badge reels. So cure that. You don't need to do 2 minutes because it's a little dot. So cure it for a minute if you like. And then I like adding this extra that I'm not going to use for anything because I'm doing different methods. If not, I would just use a different or the same badge reel, wipe this off, and then it's going to cure under, and it literally just rips off. If you're using the pin and it had some residue, you don't wipe it off. You just put it under the UV light and then it peels right off. That's the cool thing about those. And see, it's perfect on there. And then you can glue this on with super glue. Make sure that it's facing the proper side and it's up straight and it's not sideways. This is your little swivel, so make sure it's there, or use UV. But let's just give an example that you don't want to commit into making this into a badge reel because no one's ordering it. You're just making them. You can always add like a little glue dot on the back of it so it just glues, so you can take like that moment picture, but then you remove it. And if someone wants to make it into a keychain, you can do that, which I am going to show you at the end of the video how to make it into a keychain. But that way, if someone says, I want the blue badge reel, whatever, you can do that and you're not committing to gluing it. And here I'm showing you how easy it is once that cures. You can just rip it right off. So then this is for the mica powder. See how I'm pulling the sticker? I'm making a hole, pulling it, holding the sticker as this is peeling, and it'll peel right off like butter. I'm using the same transfer tape. I'm not cutting a new transfer tape. This is the same one. I didn't even mind that it had glitter because the glitter is stuck to the transfer tape. It won't get stuck on here. Oh, this is an error I did. You can use the heat gun, but be careful. And I'll show you. I was going to erase it, but I want you guys to see that I am not perfect. I am new at this too, but I am able to do it, and so can you. In this method, I am applying first the sticker. Honestly, I like applying first the sticker and then whatever glitter I'm going to put on the back. So I'm applying the sticker again. I am winging this, y'all. I am not doing that parchment paper. I don't know. My brain doesn't work that way. My head already said wing it. Since I wing it when I make my other crafts, I wing it. So that's what I'm doing. It is very important that there is bubbles, that you remove those bubbles. So if there's a different applying method, I'm not a vinyl person. I never really liked vinyl. I know I have to work on that. So if you want to look again on my Facebook group, our friend Shmedia put a video. It should be pinned into the features. But moving on, make sure the bubbles are out, because if you seal this and it has bubbles, those bubbles will stay there. Again, you can always let people know on your care card that sometimes there's going to be bubbles. This is handmade. We are not robots. Again, we do this out of love. It is handmade, and we do work harder and to perfect our craft. That's the whole point of crafting. So if you can, work those bubbles out, I highly recommend. I know that if you apply the sticker and leave it there overnight, those bubbles leave. Why? I don't know. That's just how this vinyl works. It's pretty cool. But for this instance, I didn't have that luxury. I do have small children, so I have to work with the little time slot that I have. My husband wasn't working this day, so I was able to knock out this video. But editing, it does take me a while because this house is crazy. Everyone's always screaming. So I'm working, when they take a nap, I run upstairs and I do a voiceover, or I wash dishes or something. So today, this is why the video is taking a little longer than usual. But see how I'm doming each side. I'm going around. I'm not spreading it super fast. As you can see, his little legs on the bottom, there's a gap, so I don't want that to run over. I was super careful at this point, and you're going to see my error when I did the heat gun, because the heat gun has to heat up, which it doesn't take time, but your girl's impatient. My time is very minimum. I don't have as much, I can't just sit there and let it heat up, which I know many of us have that too. So I wasn't thinking when I was going to hit the heat gun. So you'll see that in a moment. When I hit the heat gun, I went way too close to this. That obviously the heat gun is blowing air, and so it spills everywhere. But I'll show you how I cleaned it up, and I was able to save this batch reel versus, giving up and throwing it away or whatever. Sometimes you have to take a deep breath and realize what you did wrong, which it is possible. I've used the heat gun before, but, time was not on my side. I was not thinking per usual. And you'll see it right now, how it just blows right off. And, make sure, blah, blah, blah. See how that, you probably didn't see it, but I saw it in my angle. See that part? It blew right off. Everything just started falling to the edges, and I was freaking out. See that little dot right there? You need to cure that right away, or else you will forget about it, because it does to me. And it will get on other batch reels and ruin them. So with a silicone stick, you are able, and that's why I recommend having this, you are able to remove those edges off because it's not cured yet. So you have time to save this batch reel. So I take my time to remove this because I wasn't going to just toss it. I want you guys to see that I make mistakes too. So this is cured. I'm going to wipe it white off with my pokey stick. So it comes right off. Not a problem. Fixing. Put that over, and now I'm showing how the back it's spilled, but that protective sheet is still there. So when I peel that off, I cured it, and then when I peel it off, nothing happens. I didn't have any errors or any of that sort, and I'm showing that right here. See how I peel that off? There's nothing in the back, and I've made errors before where it does spill off, and I just ruined the whole batch reel, and I have to go cut another one. In this instant, you guys would have to go get another one, and let's save and learn from my mistakes. So this is the mica powder. I got it on Amazon. It had 48 colors. Again, first apply your UV resin, and then a little goes a long way. If you put too much mica powder, then it's going to get chunky and it's not going to mix well, and your UV resin, it's going to bubble up. So a little goes a long way. I like wiping off this little spoon because I do reuse it. And first UV resin and then mix. I realized that I put a little bit of UV resin and it kind of absorbed it with the powder, so I'm going to be adding more and more. And then the color does fade out, so I added a little bit more, and you're going to see how I had such a small amount. It's also important for you to see that I am working this mica powder. I am diluting it as much as possible. You can't just mix it once and then it's good to go. You really have to, and this is sped up too, you really have to break it down, because if you do not, you're gonna have, it's like when you're baking something, you have to really stir that. If not, it's not gonna stir properly. I'm just gonna speed this up right here. So that's what the little arrow means. I'm adding a little bit of more mica. I actually really like how the mica looks when you're applying it in the back. It gives it a very euphoric look, but that's just me, how I see it. It's easier to dome too also, because if you put too much mica powder, it's so difficult to dome. I didn't make that error here. I made it when I created my first badge reel, so learn from my mistake. And remember, see how my UV light is not facing it and it's off? That's what you have to do every time you are applying UV resin, because if it's on, it's going to start hardening. And it happened to me. And Shmedia mentioned that also. But it happened to me. So learn from our mistakes. Don't do that. And you'll see if it gets hardened, look, is your UV light facing it? Because that's why it's hardening. This is a blowtorch. It's so much easier, 10 times better. I recommend it 100%. I got this one in Harbor Freights. It's super inexpensive. I paid $15. There are cheaper ones on Amazon. There's even cheaper ones at your local smoke shop. They're everywhere here where I live in California. So I went in there because I needed to get the little like gas tank it has. It's the little liquid, the gas, it's essentially just a lighter. So if you go in there, they have different prices in their smaller ones, and they sell the liquid. The liquid is super cheap. The liquid is like $2-3 the big bottle. As you can see, very much you start building skill right away. Don't be afraid of trying something new. Honestly, everything I do, I know I get a lot of compliments, and I'm very thankful for them that I know a lot of things, but it's because I just dive right in like a blind bat. As you can see how I have such little UV here. I'm learning as I go how much UV resin I need for each badge reel. It's a skill that you will get as time goes, so be patient with yourself. Not everyone learns at the same rhythm. I noticed that this light actually takes longer for it to cure. It takes 3 minutes to cure versus the other one takes 2 minutes. So I guess it depends on what you want to work with. Honestly, I think the Amazon one works finely. Remember, when you peel your decal, you're holding on to that sticker, and then you're peeling. You pull up and you pulled down. Truthfully, if you guys have any tips for me on how to apply my decal without bubbles, I would really appreciate it. Leave a comment down below. I am not someone that gets offended if someone corrects me or teach me their way. If anything, the more we show and teach each other is how we grow. As you can see, I had a lot of bubbles here, so I took them right out without a problem. But I don't know if it's possible to just lay a sticker without any bubbles, or if there's always going to be bubbles. But I'm learning, and if I figure something out new, I will post it on my Facebook page. It is in the description down below. It's just a private Facebook group where mainly it surrounds about my items that I make. If you have any questions, if I know how to answer them, I will answer them. You can post it on the wall. There are many crafters in there, so if they can help you, they will, answer your questions. So feel free to use the group to your advantage. That's why it is there. Other than that, this video is disclosing the same thing, how I am going about it, adding the resin, the UV resin. You are going to see in a bit the error I did when I added too much chunky glitter into the cup. You'll see that when I squeeze my UV resin into the little cup to mix it, 1, I put too much glitter. 2, when I squeezed the cup, obviously I did not click in my brain that air was gonna come out, and then it literally blows everywhere. I mean, you can easily, blow the glitter away or have a little vacuum, whatever works. But you learn. Like, don't be afraid to make mistakes. And there's a saying in Spanish, echando perder uno aprende, which basically means messing something up is how you learn. So dive right in. The UV light, see how that has a really good shine to it, and then the back, I peel that right off, and I'm gonna add that chunky glitter, and you're gonna see the mistake. I could very well deleted it and say, you know what, I'm perfect, I know what I'm doing, da 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 da. But no, like, this was too much glitter, and see how I blew that up? It just spilled everywhere. I could have just deleted this part, but no, I did delete the part where I'm cleaning it up because I just blew it all out. I'm adding more glitter, which I shouldn't have done. But at this point, I realized as I'm pulling it out that it's too much glitter. So I did have to toss out. I made a little coin of it, but I'm not going to use it. I guess if I were to sell keychains, I can always put some decal on it and sell it that way. But it was learning purposes. So I took the out and I learned to not be putting too much. So I did have to add more UV resin. But what I had left over from this batch, I made another decal. Something I learned from this is when you're working with chunky glitter, there is gonna make sure that when you're spreading it around that the glitter isn't sticking out on the edges. I mean, you can always sand it down, but let's just avoid extra work. And what you can do is this chunky glitter, you can add UV onto it and then spread out the glitter as much as possible. I really do like the finished look on this. I wish I hated it, but I actually really liked it. My favorite thing to do is the sparsed out chunky glitter, which is my last badge reel, the Hello Kitty one with the custom name on it, which I will be showing you also. But see how I added UV to it because I had a lot of glitter in it. I was able to move the glitter around. My UV light is off, as you can see. Make sure that it's always off when you are working with your UVs. That way it's not hardening. I'll go ahead and speed this part up, but as you can see, it does take me a little while because I want to make sure that I'm spreading the UV resin around and the glitter isn't sticking out on the edges. Okay, so this is one of my favorite badge reels so far. I like them all, but this one in particular because I like to customize. If you buy this badge reel, I do have the sizing that you need to resize your name to fit perfectly in the middle of the pencil. There's also one with a chalkboard, but this is the pencil one. It also comes with a little apple as a charm, which I will be showing how I apply it. And again, I'm winging it again, y'all. There's no other way. This one had no bubble whatsoever, so I think it comes with wisdom, with timing and all that stuff. So I didn't use any fancy vinyl. I had this vinyl for years. I think I got it on Amazon in a big huge packet, so it's not fancy. I am actually using the same UV resin from the Amazon kit. I honestly 10 out of 10. I really like it. I use the resin rockers, which is pretty infamous too, but I like this one. It gives me the same result. This one's more cheaper than the other one, I believe. Well, it's smaller, so use what you like best. But if you get the kit, I really like this UV resin. Just make sure that if you're using the light, it is off when you're working with it and you're curing it for 2 minutes at least. Put a timer, because if you're like me and you look at the clock and say, I will remember, you won't remember. I will forget it instantly. So I'm going to fast forward this part because it's the same concept. I'm just moving everything around. And then I go in with my little pen, silicone pen to remove. I saw that it was spilling on the side, so I quickly removed that. And then I go in with my blowtorch. I like the blowtorch more. I don't recommend you use the, like if you have to go down the line. If you only have a lighter, use the lighter. If you have a heat gun, learn to blow from afar. It will pop the bubbles, but the lighter's more efficient. Save up for a blowtorch. They're very, very inexpensive. I highly recommend them. You'll see how the bubbles just pop quickly, instantly. And then this is how I spread my chucking glitter. I like this method the most. I don't know why. I just like how shiny and clear it looks. All of them work, but to me, personally, I like this one. It's just more UV resin than glitter, and I like how sparse it looks. I don't know, just me, personal preference. If you want to write in the comments what's your personal preference, I'd love to hear it too. We all have different styles. Other than that, that's all I have for this badge reel. I'm going to fast forward it. You guys know I appreciate every single one of y'all, your tips, your answers, anything. Thank you for being in this crafting journey with me. If you have any questions, concerns, please let me know. The video's not ending. I'm just, briefing it up, being very grateful for all of you here watching this, hearing me ramble. If not, you can always silent me. It's not a problem. But then I do get a lot of people asking me, why aren't I talking? See how this part, my parchment paper, kind of burnt a little bit? That's okay. I'm still going to use this parchment paper over and over and over. I don't like the silicone mat. I don't know why. I don't know. It annoys me. And the parchment paper is just easier because I can have my UV light on the side and I can drag it, move it around, and I'm not worried about it. But that's my personal preference. I'm showing you here how I apply my, badge roll. Make sure, and I made this error where I wasn't paying attention and I just glue it on the bottom. Make sure that your badge roll is facing the right way. It will move a little bit. As you can see, it starts sliding, but as soon as you put that UV light and you turn on that light, it'll stop moving, trust me. But you can also use super glue. So this is a little charm. I didn't record me putting the UV resin. I feel like I overkilled it. But when you get the keychains, they're super cheap. You get like 100 for $12, and it comes with these little pieces. I use this little piece and I hook it up. You do need to buy these pliers if you don't have pliers. I love these. They're little alligator. They come with 3 different ones. I'll put it in my Amazon storefront. There are various different types of badge clips. Here is a belt loop. They all pull from the bottom. This is one of my favorites. This is a 360 alligator clip, and I really like these. And clear, they're more expensive. The other one, there's 100, and they all come in different colors. So I recommend you start with those, and obviously change the price. And then you can attach it either with super glue or UV resin. I have the UV resin from Resin Walkers and the one I used with Amazon UV resin. They both work magnificently. And then you can also offer the Velcro option. It's really up to you. How I like doing, like if I do a live or something, is I use glue dots on a regular one. That way I'm not committing to it depending on what the customer wants. And I'll put a glue dot on there, and then I'll be switching it. And I'll do this also if I'm making like a quick video. I get to switch them out here. You can see, you can't tell that it's a glue dot, but that's how I am transitioning from each one. I created this badge reel clip thing. If you want to order one, it is on my website. The link is in the description. I have different colors as well. So this is, you wouldn't tell that it's there. For a quick video, they work magnificently. Here's another one. And this is just a helpful tip if you want to use it. If not, do what works best for you. This is the keychain part. You need a rotary toolkit. I got mine at Harbor Freights. It's behind my house. I love that place. It's so cheap. This is how you open it. If you get this one, it's not the coolest, most expensive one. So it works. You pay what you get, right? So this is hard because I'm trying to hold it for you to view, but I will show you momentarily how you should have it on the ground versus winging it that way. So you're going to drill a hole, because this one's cheap. You're going to drill a hole one way, and then you're going to switch it around where the hole, you'll see how the hole is immersing, and you're going to turn it around, drill it again, and you'll make the hole perfectly fine. I will recommend wearing a face mask. It does start shedding a lot, and this is because it's already cured. I did UV resin on both sides. So I'm going to show you how I tried with a blank that has no UV resin. This one, I just applied the sticker and I was going to do the hole, but I realized that it was shaking a lot, and if anything, it damaged the sticker, which you can easily fix. See how it's shaking? So see how I'm placing it down. If you do this, I don't know why it went blurry. Oh, there it goes. So if you do this, you have way more control. I was just trying to focus on it, but I'll zoom in for you guys to see. And then you turn it around, and you make the hole go through the other side. If not, it'll get stuck. That's why you got to flip it over, if that makes sense. So see how my picture was actually damaged? With my X-Acto knife, I was able to fix that. That was not a big problem. But personally, I don't like how the sticker was being damaged. I don't want to risk for the whole sticker to be ruined. I'd rather it being domed up. It's still going to shed out some pieces, so might as well just dome it all and then wear a face mask if you have to, because you shouldn't be smelling or any of this acrylic stuff. So thank you for watching. Have you any questions, concerns, please leave a comment down below. I am more happy to share the tips and what I'm learning so far. Make sure you follow my private Facebook group. Other than that, once again, thank you.